Happy Monday, Mavericks fans. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here with you. And we got some juicy rumors to hit, Coop. We were going to hit NBA Summer League winners and losers today. That's going to come up tomorrow. We'll tell you more about that in a sec. But, Jeff, Clint Capela, could he still be a Mav? Reports coming in from Marc Stein that could be in the works still.
Yeah, the Mavs want to be a third team in a deal that would send Pascal Siakam to Atlanta. Atlanta, obviously, one of the serious suitors for Siakam. And if Capela's involved in the deal, he could, but it wouldn't make sense for him to go to Toronto because they just signed Jakob Poeltl to a $20 million a year deal. So that opens the door for the Mavs to potentially get in as the third team and maybe land Capela, who they've been targeting for months now.
Lots to explore here when it comes to Clint Capela. But first, want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. We're going to do Summer League winners and losers tomorrow. I thought probably the most fun and entertaining Summer League for the Mavs.
4-1.
Maybe ever.
Great Summer League for the Mavs.
Lots to break down. Some guys taking advantage of their opportunities. We'll take a look at some winners and losers tomorrow, so subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll put a wrap on Summer League on Tuesday. All right, here's Marc Stein on this situation. He says you can safely presume that the Mavericks are rooting for Atlanta to win the trade race for Toronto's Siakam, and that they're also hoping such a trade features Hawks center Clint Capela as opposed to strictly a DeAndre Hunter-centric deal. Capela has 2 seasons left on his current contract valued at nearly $43 million. The Raptors would appear to have little need for a pricey center after re-signing Jakob Poeltl this month to a 4-year, $78 million deal. So theoretical trade of Siakam to the Hawks that features Capela would open the door for Dallas to join the trade as a third team or pursue a separate deal with Toronto for Capela. And yeah, Coop, it sounds like if Dallas is going to get Capela, it would have to be either in a straight-up 3-team deal or kind of on the back end of Siakam going to Atlanta. If they can't land Siakam, they'd probably just hang on to Capela. But if they do pursue and get Siakam, maybe Capela gets redirected to Dallas.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the route that the Mavericks want to go. And obviously, we know that the Mavs have been interested in Capela as far back as the NBA draft. And I thought this was interesting. Stein said as well that the Mavericks were ready to do a deal to get Capela to the Mavs, but the Hawks insisted on Josh Green. So the Mavs kind of balked at this deal that would have sent Hardaway and Green to the Hawks along with number 10 for Capela and number 15. And I'll be honest, I don't blame the Mavs for rejecting this deal at all, because I don't think you should include Josh Green in this deal. And we'll get to more Josh Green stuff in a moment, but I think he would have been the prize piece in this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you can move Josh Green in that deal for Capela. And, I've been more open recently to the idea of trading Josh Green for the right package, but I don't think Clint Capela's that piece. Like, I think if you're moving Green, ideally you're getting an all-star back. Like, Capela, he's not improving at this point as a player. Now,
exactly.
I think his production with Luka could increase because he's that style center. We saw him play the best ball of his career with James Harden, but at the same time, I don't think we're going to wake up in 6 months and be talking about Clint Capela, the all-star. So
no, not at all.
I think
he would be
Josh
an upgrade
Green
on the Mavs' current center rotation.
No doubt.
No one's debating that. But to give up Josh Green in a deal like this, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't think I am. So now you hope that maybe a new deal could transpire. Would you trade Josh Green for Capela, type T for trade or P for pass? I think Coop and I are on the same page. I think we're going to pass on that deal. But that being said, I still very much would like to get Clint Capela. I think, again, he would be the best pure center you've had since Tyson Chandler. And I think we're all excited about Derek Lively and his future in Dallas. But I think it's a lot to ask for Lively to be a high-level starter as a rookie. Maybe he gets there later in the year. Maybe he's there by year 2. But Capela, Rashawn Holmes, Dwight Powell, obviously JaVale McGee's not going to be there. That continues to be reported. But Capela would clearly be a better center than Holmes and or Powell. So if your center rotation ends up being Capela, Lively, and Powell, maybe that's what you go with. Maybe Rashawn Holmes, once the 60 days wraps up, gets redirected after you trade for a Capela, because I don't know if there'd really be a need for Holmes on this roster. But I think that's definitely a route I would be open to going. It's just a matter of what a trade would look like, Coop.
Yeah, and this is the idea that I kind of racked in my brain that I thought would be acceptable for all 3 sides. The Mavericks receive Clint Capela, the Hawks receive Siakam and a second. then the Raptors get DeAndre Hunter, Tim Hardaway, and 3 first-round picks. I think that's a pretty fair deal, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that it's quite enough to get Capela. Maybe the Mavs have to throw in an extra second-round pick to either the Hawks or the Raptors.
I'd throw both seconds.
Yeah, I would as well.
25 and 28. I'm open to that.
I would as well, but I think this is kind of the framework of a deal that would kind of get done. Hardaway could also go back to Atlanta. Obviously, that can work any which way, but this is kind of what I thought.
Yeah, and look, I think like if you kind of simplify it just from a Mavs-Hawks standpoint, like Hardaway 2 seconds for Siakam. Like I think that's or for Capela, excuse me. I think that's kind of what you're doing. And look, if you could even throw in, Richaun Holmes somehow. Obviously, that trade couldn't be finalized for 45 days or whatever it is now, 50 days. But I'd be cool with that too, because you don't need Richaun Holmes if you get Clint Capela.
Yeah, exactly. If you get Capela, then Holmes is completely expendable. Obviously, JaVale McGee is as well. He will not be on this roster. We still don't know how exactly that transaction is going to go down, whether it be in a trade or they just flat out release him.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Is this trade framework enough to get Capela? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think this trade could happen, and here's why. If Siakam is not going to commit to a contract extension, I don't really know what else Toronto can expect than getting back 3 firsts, Hunter and Hardaway. That's a pretty good haul for a guy who's not gonna commit to an extension here. So Y for yes and for no. Is this enough to get Clint Capela? Marc Stein also reported, Coop, that a Josh Green extension could be in the works. He reports that the Mavs are expected to open those extension discussions soon. So go ahead.
I'm kind of surprised by this, honestly, considering that they were talking about Josh Green being one of the most talked about trade pieces with the Mavs as well. He's been involved in a lot of trade rumors throughout the offseason, and now the Mavs are expected to open contract extension talks with them here later in free agency. I expect those talks to probably pick up in the next couple weeks or so, according to Marc Stein. And I think it's just interesting because they don't want to make the same mistake that they did with Jalen Brunson. They want to get an extension done with Josh Green and make sure that they preserve his value.
Yeah, and look, I don't think extending Green prevents you from using him as a trade chip down the road. I don't think he's going to get some massive deal. And look, if you extend him now and he does continue to improve, you're probably getting better value than if you wait this year out and then try to extend him. I don't know. What do you think he's getting right now, Coop? 4 for 50?
So this
12.5 per year?
Interesting you say this. My projection was 4 years, $58 million. I think that's what he's going to get, but Spotrac thinks he's going to get 4 years close to 70.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing $70 million for Josh Green.
And to be honest, I don't think the Mavs are either. Not at this point. Maybe if he has a great year and after this season, maybe, but now?
I think if it's 4 years, $58 million, I do that, sign on the dotted line, get it done. $70 million, I think you let him go to restricted free agency and see what he gets on the open market because the Mavs obviously would have the first right of refusal. Yeah. There's no way I'm giving Josh Green $70 million after his best year last year with 9.5 points a game. He did shoot it well, but not with a lot of volume. Let's see what he does this year, and if that warrants 4 years, $70 million, okay.
Look, I think he's a tick more polished than Matisse Thybulle offensively at this point, but he's not as good of a defender. Thybulle just got re-upped due to the Mavs offer sheet of 3 years and $33 million. You're telling me Green is going to get 4 years and an extra $37 million on top of that?
So
that's just a lot, man.
My initial projection was 4 years, $50 million, and then I went online and saw what other people were thinking he was going to get, and it said 70. So I just upped my offer a little bit just because of what other people were saying.
I'll be honest, yours of 4 for 58. That's about as far as I'm going.
Yeah, that's about the max I would do as well. I don't think he's worth $15 million a year right now, but maybe the market says he is.
Well, look, I think if you do give him that type of deal, you're expecting him to take another leap where by the end of this year,
you're paying on the potential.
He's a 13-point scorer. He continues to improve as a creator, and the three-point shot is still there with more volume. That's what you're banking on if you give him $14, $15, $16 million per year.
Yeah, there's just no way at this moment in time that he's earned that $70 million. Now, maybe that'll change this season, but you would be paying on potential, not what he's done in the past, and that's always a risky proposition.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What do you guys think? How much money will Josh Green get per season on a new deal? It sounds like 12 to 15 million bucks. I mean, I can't imagine the 4 for 70, which would be
crazy.
17.5 per year.
That's more than Grant Williams.
A lot more.
A lot more.
I mean, 4 for 58 is more.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Which, look, Josh Green averaged more points last year, but he does not defend 4 positions like Grant Williams does. So we'll see what happens. How much money do you guys think Josh Green will get per year? All right, guys, keep an eye on the channel. Subscribe as we will continue to explore everything surrounding this basketball team. We'll be back tomorrow, Summer League winners and losers. I thought there's a lot of good stuff that I saw in Vegas this summer, so we'll explore how that all shaped out for the Mavericks. So subscribe and turn on those noties for tomorrow, and we will see you then on the channel.